Ashes beneath our hearts. The sky burned once. Now it only remembers. I woke up to silence so thick it pressed against my skin. The air smelled of rust, and ashes still clung to my clothes. Ashes that weren't all from the war. Some of them were people I used to know. They told us the bombs would end it quickly. They lied. For 3 months, I wandered through cities made of ghosts, until I found him, Captain Ilya Korshin, the man who started it all. The man I swore to kill if I ever saw again. He was half buried under collapsed steel, breathing like a dying machine. When he saw me, he smiled, as if he'd been waiting. "You came back," he whispered. "Not for you," I said. "For what you destroyed." I should have left him there, but something in his eyes, that hollow, human flicker, made me stay. I dragged him out, fed him, watched him sleep like a childhood forgotten how to dream. And that's when it started, the worst mistake of my life. I began to care. Now, as the nights grow longer and the silence grows louder, I can't tell if the world died or if it's still dying inside me.
At first, we didn't talk much. Words felt dangerous, like matches in a room full of gas. Days bled into each other. We scavenged food, patched our wounds, and tried not to remember. But silence always remembers. One night, by the dying fire, I asked him, "Why did you do it, Ilya? Why start a war you couldn't end?" He didn't look up, just stared into the flames. "Because they told me it was the only way to save us." "And did it?" "No," he said. "It saved me. For a while." His voice broke on that last word. I should have hated him more for it, but I didn't. Maybe because hate needs energy, and I had none left. Maybe because in this dead world, even your enemy becomes your only mirror. One morning, I woke to find him gone. His footprints led east, to the old military vault. I followed, heart pounding, dust biting my throat. When I found him, he wasn't alone. A woman stood beside him, pale, alive, wearing the insignia of the enemy. He looked at me, eyes full of something that wasn't guilt, something worse. "He had to," he said. "She knows where the cure is." Cure. The word hit like a blade through my chest. Because I'd heard that word before. And last time I did, it cost me everything. That's when I realized the truth. The war might have ended, but the lies hadn't. They called it the cure, a word too clean for what it really was. I watched the woman, Dr. Solon, unpack a metal case. Inside, rows of tiny glass vials shimmered under the pale light. "This is what's left of humanity," she said. "What's left of us." But I saw the mark on her wrist, a barcode, fresh and burned into her skin. She wasn't saving humanity. She was tagged by it. "You think this will fix the world?" I asked. "No," she whispered. "It will rebuild it. In their image." I looked at Ilya. He couldn't meet my eyes. He knew. He always knew. "You lied to me," I said. "I had no choice," he replied. There's always a choice. The silence after that felt heavier than any bomb. Solon raised a vial between us. "One injection," she said. "You'll stop aging. You'll stop feeling hunger. You'll stop being human." Ilya reached for it. I stepped forward and slapped it out of his hand. The glass shattered, spilling silver liquid into the dirt. For a moment, none of us breathed. "You don't understand," he shouted. "We can't survive without it." "Then maybe," I said, "we don't deserve to." He looked at me like a stranger, or maybe, finally, like the man he was. Then the alarms began to scream. We weren't alone. Solon grabbed the last vial and ran toward the tunnel. Ilya followed her, and I followed him. Because no matter how much I hated him, my heart still beat for him, and I wasn't sure if that made me weak or still human. The tunnels were endless, walls breathing with the echoes of war, every step a memory I wanted to forget. Ilya's flashlight flickered ahead of me. Solon's shadow moved faster, desperate, trembling. The vial gleamed in her hand like stolen light. "Stop!" I shouted. "You'll destroy what's left of us." She turned, eyes hollow. "There's nothing left of us, only what we can build again." And then she pressed the vial against her skin. A sound, sharp, wet, final. Her body stiffened, her veins turned silver. For a second, she smiled, and then her eyes went blank. Glassy, empty. Ilya froze. I could see the fear bloom across his face. "It worked," he whispered. "She's transcended." "No," I said quietly. "She's gone." He lifted the empty syringe, his hand shaking. "Maybe this is the only way to survive. You'll stop surviving the moment you forget how to feel." He looked at me, tears, dust, and ashes all mixed into one. Then, without another word, he pressed the needle to his arm. I lunged forward. Too late. The silver spread through his veins, his breathing slowed, but his eyes were calm. "You'll understand one day. Love isn't what saves us, it's what destroys us." He smiled once more, a ghost of who he was, and then fell still. The world was quiet again. Only my heartbeat remained, the last sound in a dying universe. I took the last unbroken vial from the ground. It pulsed faintly in my palm, like a living thing. I could end it all, or begin something new. I walked to the surface. The dawn, gray and silent, met me halfway. For the first time in years, I felt warmth on my face. Maybe it wasn't the sun. Maybe it was just the fire still burning inside me. And in that fragile light, I whispered, "Let the world die as it should. I'll live as I must."